Welcome to Watchmen Season 1 Recap. The next recap will be The Expanse Season 4. Now let's get back to Watchmen. Premise: the setting in Watchmen takes place in an alternative universe in mostly 2019. In this universe, masked vigilantes, heroes and villains are not uncommon. Also, racism from the past and the present plays a huge role in this adaptation of Watchmen. Let's dive in. Episode 1. It's summer and we're running out of ice. During Tulsa's Black Wall Street massacre in 1921, a black child loses his parents in the chaos and escorts an orphan baby to safety. 98 years later, masked officer Charlie Sutton is hospitalized after being shot by a member of the 7th Cavalry. As retaliation, Police Chief Judd Crawford calls for action to hunt down the shooter. Angela Abar hears of the shooting and hunts down a suspect under her secret persona, Sister Night. With help from another costumed police officer, Wade Tillman, aka Looking Glass, Angela finds out the shooter's location at a cattle ranch used by the cavalry. Angela, Judd, and other officers hunt them down, causing a shootout that results in the deaths of all cavalry members present. Sometime after the shootout, Judd runs over a spike strip while driving to the hospital to visit Sutton, while Angela then receives a call from someone who instructs her to find something at a countryside tree. She heads to the location where she finds an elderly black man in a wheelchair below a hanged Judd. Meanwhile, the master, living at an unspecified country estate, writes a play called The Watchmaker's Son and celebrates an anniversary with his 2 servants. Episode 2. Martial feats of Comanche horsemanship. In World War I, O.B., a soldier in the American army, pockets a piece of German propaganda challenging their racial equality. In the present, Angela takes the elderly man she found under the tree to her hideout. He says his name is Will and he claims to be her grandfather, which she later validates. The police then round up several suspects from Nixonville on suspicion of Judd's lynching. Later, Will warns Angela of Judd's duplicity, which she initially doubts. During Judd's wake, however, while searching his house, she discovers a KKK outfit in a secret closet. She asks Will how he knew, but to no avail, so she arrests him. As she places him in her car, a flying aircraft drops an electromagnet and takes the vehicle away with Will in it, dropping the German propaganda his father had given him. Meanwhile, the master watches Mr. Phillips and Miss Crookshanks perform his play, a retelling of Dr. Manhattan's origins. Unexpectedly, the master incinerates Phillips as part of the play and names one of his other servants, apparent clones of Phillips and Crookshanks, the new Mr. Phillips. Episode 3. She was killed by space junk. After faking a bank robbery to draw out a vigilante, Agent Laurie Blake of the FBI's Anti-Vigilante Task Force is asked by both the FBI and Senator Joe Keene Jr. to investigate Judd's murder. Laurie tracks down the Tulsa police, rounding up cavalry suspects, and learns about Judd's funeral, where she makes contact with Angela. But then a cavalry member wearing a suicide vest attempts to seize Joe, but Laurie kills him while Angela saves the other attendees. Later, Laurie talks to Angela, discussing the wheelchair threats at Judd's lynching and Judd's secret closet, warning her not to protect him. That night, Laurie uses a special phone booth to tell Dr. Manhattan a brick joke while he is on Mars. As she leaves, Angela's empty car drops from the sky behind her. She looks up, sees Mars, and laughs. Meanwhile, the master unsuccessfully tests a protective suit with a Phillips clone. He hunts down a bison for its thicker hide, but is stopped by the game warden, who later writes to remind him of the terms of his imprisonment. The master responds in a letter acknowledging these terms, signing it as Adrian Veidt, and goes out to hunt again in his Ozymandias outfit. Episode 4. If you don't like my story, write your own. Lady Trieu buys out the farmland of an Oklahoma couple just moments before an object from space crashes onto their property as to claim its ownership. When Angela learns about Will's parents at the Heritage Center, she hears her car crash outside and meets Laurie, finding a pill bottle inside her car. Later, Angela leaves the pill bottle and Judd's KKK outfit with Looking Glass and fails to capture an unknown vigilante who witnessed her dispose of Will's wheelchair. Laurie has found Will's fingerprints in Angela's car, as well as a connection to Trieu's facility at the Millennium Clock. Lady Trieu provides them with a list of people with access to new lightweight drones, and in Vietnamese tells Angela that Will wonders if she got the pill bottle. That evening, Trieu talks to Will about being upfront with Angela, but with events to come to a head in a few days, he would rather she figure it out herself. Meanwhile, Veidt collects fetuses from a lake to grow new clones of Phillips and Crookshanks, after killing off all of the existing ones. With their help, Veidt launches the dead bodies by catapult to test the limits of his prison. Episode 5. Little Fear of Lightning. Wade suffers PTSD as a survivor of Veidt's 1985 squid attack, while Laurie bugs Wade's desk and learns that Angela asked him about the pills. Wade's ex-wife Cynthia tells him the pills are nostalgia, which contain other people's memories. Later that day, Wade is lured by the cavalry to a warehouse, where they are testing a teleportation portal. Joe explains both he and Judd are cavalry members, trying to keep them in check. Joe coerces Wade's help to learn what Angela knows about Judd's death after showing him a video of Veidt. The video is made a day before the 1985 attack and addressed to future President Redford, explaining Veidt's squid plan, shaking Wade to his core. At the station the next day, Wade gets Angela to state that her grandfather was behind Judd's death. Laurie hears this via the audio bug and arrests Angela, but not before she swallows the pills. Wade then returns home after work and cavalry members arrive with guns. It is then revealed that Veidt's prison is on Europa, a moon of Jupiter, and that he's arranging the frozen bodies of his servants to spell out "Save me," so they will be visible to a passing space probe. However, he is pulled back into the prison and arrested by the game warden. Episode 6. This Extraordinary Being. Laurie tries to get Angela to agree to treatment before the nostalgia kicks in, but it's too late as the latter starts to experience her grandfather's memories. In 1938, Will joins the New York Police Department, which is rife with racism. After discovering a plot called Cyclops, his fellow white officers beat him and hang him from a tree, cutting him down at the last moment to warn him not to interfere in white affairs. While walking home, he dons a mask and hood to fight off men attacking a young couple. He is called a hero the next day and supported by his wife June, taking on the persona of Hooded Justice. Will is invited to join the Minutemen by Captain Metropolis and begins an affair with him, while June becomes pregnant. When Will finds that Cyclops is a plan by the KKK to hypnotize black people to incite riots amongst themselves, Will asks for the Minutemen's help in foiling the plot, but Captain Metropolis refuses. Enraged, Will dismantles the operation on his own, killing all involved. June, shocked by Will's consuming anger, leaves him and takes their growing son home to Tulsa. In the near present, Will uses a modified form of the hypnotic technology to make Judd hang himself. Angela wakes up at Trieu's quarters, who has been treating her for the nostalgia. Episode 7. An almost religious awe. Angela continues to be treated for the nostalgia as her memories of losing her parents and her grandmother June in Vietnam is mingled with Will's. She learns that the Manhattan phone booths, supposedly connected to Mars, in fact route to Trieu's facilities. Trieu then reveals to her that Dr. Manhattan is actually on Earth, in Tulsa, disguised as a human. After learning of the cavalry's plan to capture and destroy Manhattan in order to become like him, Trieu plans to activate the Millennium Clock within the hour to save the world. Angela then breaks free, rushes home, and tells Cal she loves him as a husband, calling him by the name John, before she bashes his head in and pulls out a small metal ring shaped like Manhattan's symbol. It is then that his body starts to glow blue. Meanwhile, Laurie goes to speak to Jane Crawford about her husband's death, but falls into a trapdoor and is taken to the cavalry headquarters, where Joe reveals their plan to capture Manhattan to restore white supremacy. While Laurie's partner Petey tries to track down Looking Glass, only to find his fallout shelter filled with dead cavalrymen, but no sign of him. Meanwhile, Veidt is put on a year-long trial by the game warden, which he treats as a farce. Episode 8. A God walks into a bar. In Vietnam 2009, Dr. Manhattan attempts to convince Angela to have dinner with him the next night, as they will fall in love later. Angela is highly skeptical, but Manhattan, after explaining his non-linear experience with time, explains that he had been creating life on Europa since 1985, and that in 2019 he will fall in love with her just as he is about to be taken by the 7th Cavalry. He explains how he took up the identity of Cal to blend in, and used a device created by Veidt to give him amnesia about his true identity until it was necessary for Angela to take it out. At Vight's request, Manhattan teleported him to Europa and also visited Will to encourage him to help Angela in 2019. Angela, speaking to Manhattan in 2019, asks him to ask Will in 2009 how he knew of Judd's secrets, but realizes she gave that idea to Will just now. As the cavalry prepares to attack, Angela goes to protect Manhattan, who sees this as the moment he fell in love with her and helps her fend them off, knowing that one last cavalry member remained alive to use a tachyon cannon to capture him. Back in 2009, Angela finally accepts Manhattan's dinner proposal. In a post-credits scene, the game warden gives a captive Veidt another anniversary cake. He finds a horseshoe baked inside it and gleefully starts digging an escape tunnel. Episode 9, the final episode. See How They Fly. Trieu rescues her father Veidt from Europa as she wants him and Beyond, a clone of her mother, present when she activates a machine she developed to steal Manhattan's power for herself. The cavalry, working with the Cyclops leadership, captures Manhattan while Joe prepares to take his powers. Laurie then discovers that Wade is alive, disguised as a cavalry member. Just as the cavalry activate their system, Trieu teleports a setup to downtown Tulsa, finding Joe has become ooze, and kills the Cyclops leadership. Before Trieu kills him, Manhattan uses the distraction to teleport Veidt, Laurie and Wade to Antarctica, where Veidt reworks his squid rain system to send frozen squid to pulverize Trieu's device, killing her in the process. Meanwhile, Angela takes shelter in the theater, where Will and her children are. Will explains Manhattan had worked with him to bring about this necessary conclusion. Laurie and Wade eventually bring Veidt to justice using the copy of the 1985 video. The following day, while cleaning up eggs from the night before, Angela recalls Manhattan's statement about transferring his powers through an organic medium. Finding one unbroken egg, Angela eats it and attempts to walk on water as she saw Manhattan do the night before.